Ladies and gentlemen, the 4-year cycle is telling us very clearly that the top could be any day now. Well, the 4-year cycle can break, of course, but if it doesn't break, that fact remains true. The 4-year cycle's date range trends, which have existed since 2012 and marked every single top and bottom we have seen historically on Bitcoin going right back to 2013, is clearly telling us that October should be the month in which Bitcoin tops out. Okay, up for interpretation, whether you agree with the cycle or not is kind of irrelevant. That's what it says, and it's not broken yet. Now, that's what the cycle's telling us while Bitcoin is coming up against probably the most major resistance zone it's faced in years. I would say years, not just from this chart here, but also from this chart and from this chart and from this chart. We'll look into all 4 of these charts today and then discuss the situation as a whole. It's a very critical moment because if Bitcoin is going to be breaking these levels, breaking this critical resistance band across all 4 of these charts, that could potentially give it the fuel to move to the upside and surpass the 4-year cycle. So it's an absolutely massive moment. One of the biggest moments Bitcoin's probably ever seen. I know it's easy to say that, and it seems like every single moment people say that. But I mean, we're talking about the life or death of the 4-year cycle here. And that's a huge, huge thing. Before we dive into it, go ahead and check out the Bitunix Exchange. It's a global exchange. You can sign up from anywhere in the world without a VPN, use it with no restriction. It's also never been hacked before, not in its entire price history. So it's been on the market for about 5 years now with no security breaches. That's exceptional. Those 2 things combined make this a very, very rare exchange in 2025's crypto market. Okay, so go ahead and sign up if you're interested. The link is down below. You can get a 15% lifetime trading fee discount with that link exclusively. You'll help out the channel and you'll help out yourself. That's the best way you can help out the channel with that link. So use it if you're interested. Let's get into it. So the critical resistance band that I'm talking about right now, which I'll discuss in just a moment here, if we're just really simplifying it, kind of stems from around $26,000 to $131,000, and it's moving upwards very gradually. So by the end of the month, it will be 128 to 134, okay? But right now, it really begins at 126. And I discussed on a YouTube poll, I posted a YouTube poll, I should say, asking the question, where will Bitcoin top out in this bull run? And only 12% of you think that Bitcoin has seen the top already, which makes sense considering we're currently at all-time highs. So the 12% of you who said that have been proven wrong already. But more interestingly, the percentage of people who think we're going to be seeing a top between 125 and 140, kind of basically saying that we're going to be seeing a top below or at that resistance zone, is 42%. And the people who think that resistance zone will break is 46%. So we've kind of got a 50-50 split between people who think this resistance zone will hold and Bitcoin will top out at this resistance, and people who think the resistance zone will break and will continue higher and potentially even break the 4-year cycle. Now, that's very interesting. It's 50-50 split. Doesn't really tell us much. What is the resistance zone? Okay, this is really the important part. Okay, so it's not just one chart. As I said, it's 4 charts. It was originally 2 charts, and it's actually something I've been discussing. These 2 charts right here, this angle of ascension chart and this chart on the logarithmic regression curve, which is the power law chart on Bitcoin. Sorry for stuttering there. These 2 charts are something I've literally been discussing for over a year on Bitcoin, and both of them hovering at about 130,000, which again is something I've been discussing for over a year on this YouTube channel very publicly. Well, let's dig into it, right? We've got the first line right here going backwards from a 2017 all-time high, cutting across 2021 and cutting through the price action to this very day. We've now had 3 separate retests of this one singular resistance line, one of them right here in July, one of them right here in August, and one of them right here just a few days ago. This is the lowest of the 4 resistance levels, and it marks the start of the major resistance band at $126,000. Now, the second level that cross-validates this region as a price resistance zone is the power law chart on Bitcoin. The power law chart was previously a very important chart on Bitcoin for marking highs and lows. It marked the high going right back to 2011 before the first cycle even began. And right now, the center line has been marking highs on a macro scale since the middle of last year. It's been doing it on 4 or 5 separate occasions now, as you can see. And right now, that resistance zone's at 131,000. So what do we have so far? We have 126,000 as resistance. We have 131,000 as resistance. What about this chart here? This is the logarithmic regression curve on Bitcoin. Now, what this chart represents is angles of appreciation between highs and lows, okay? So bear market bottoms to bear market bottoms and bull market tops to bull market tops are measured by an angle of ascension, and that angle of ascension basically is halving each cycle. It went from 40 to 20 to 10 to 5 degrees, and on the bottom side it went from 24 to 12 to 6 degrees, okay? And if we basically, all we need to know is where the top date might be, and we can get an idea of where the price of the top might be based on this chart if it holds. And right now the resistance zone is currently sitting at around $128,000. So we have resistance at 131 from the power law chart, we have resistance at 126 from this chart right here, we have resistance at 128 from the logarithmic regression channel. Now the fourth chart isn't even a price chart, it's actually the 2-week chart RSI. And the 2-week chart RSI is one of the most important charts you will ever look at on the Bitcoin trading view, right? And I really do mean that. Now, it's not a price chart, as I said, but it has marked every single major macro top Bitcoin has ever seen, even outside of the 4-year cycle. It marked the top in 2011, I should say, 2013, 2014, 2017, 2021, and even earlier last year before a 9-month correction. This chart is so important. And right now we are in a clear triangle formation on this chart, testing that triangle for resistance as we speak, which means we have resistance around this price region, which further validates the resistance we have across these 3 charts right here at around that roughly $126,000 to $131,000 zone. Now, here's the big thing, right? This is where we get into it, and this 2-week chart RSI really leads us into it. If the 2-week chart RSI breaks to the upside, that represents a major momentum shift to the upside, which could potentially give Bitcoin the energy, the momentum, the fuel to break all 3 of these charts to the upside, right? And if all 3 of these charts to the upside are breaking, right, we could see enough energy, enough fuel, enough momentum to continue even further than the cycle expects and potentially break the cycle or extend it. So this is the crucial moment that Bitcoin is in right now. It's got all these major resistance levels in this one clumped up price region, 126 to 131. It's testing them all right now. And all it needs to do is break those levels. All it needs to do is get to 132, okay, just above those levels. Again, those levels are moving upwards, so that might change in a week or so, but it just needs to get above those levels on a confirmed, it doesn't matter what time frame really, there's no specific time frame, but it needs to get above those levels and confirm a breakout above those levels. Let's just say a weekly candle close for argument's sake. Or realistically, a 2-week candle close would be the most logical as per the 2-week chart RSI. If it gets above all those levels, we are open range, right? There's nothing really above that is currently being identifiable as resistance, and Bitcoin could hence fly much higher and much longer than the 4-year cycle would have us believe. But until we get above those levels, okay, we are still at resistance, and we are still in the month of October, which is where the 4-year cycle expects to top. So we enter a kind of a situation here in which we should be incredibly cautious because we are at a major resistance zone within the month that generally leads to a 4-year cycle top as per the date range trends. But if those resistance zones break, we're open range, right? We're really in the clear. Now, I can tell you right now, my predictive capacity in this price region is nil. I'm not going to be making predictions here. I'm not comfortable making a prediction as to whether Bitcoin will break resistance zones, 4 resistance zones that it's never broken before. It's never broken this line from 2017 before. It's never broken, it hasn't broken this power law chart line for 18 months. It hasn't broken this logarithmic regression channel ever. And this 2-week chart RSI triangle has been going on for about 2 years at this point, 2.5 years, and is yet to be broken. I'm not going to be sitting here making the claim that it will break or it won't break. I think that's silly. What I can do is I can sit here and emphasize the thing that will actually make you money or lose you money, right? The thing that actually matters, which is reactions. I emphasize reactions. We are currently below resistance in a very crucial month. Your reaction should be caution, right? If we break those levels, very, very clear that your reaction should be aggressive optimism. I look at the total 3 chart, I see a structure that is yet to break, I see resistance at a 2021 all-time high. I look at Ethereum, I see a structure that is yet to break, I see resistance at a 2021 all-time high. The whole market is at an indecision point. Even the local Bitcoin charts are at an indecision point. If we draw in the levels that matter on the local Bitcoin charts, of course, we're drawing in this level once again from 2017, which is marking highs. There's also another level from 2017, which recently was a pretty major support zone. we'll punch that in as well. We can zoom into the price chart. We know the bull market support bands, the critical support at this point. As long as Bitcoin is within this pink box, everything kind of remains the same. Nothing really changes. We're just waiting for more confirmation, either upside or downside. So I'm going to warn you, over the next couple of weeks, or however long it takes for a resolution to be found here, I am going to sound like a broken record. There's nothing I can do about that. I refuse to not talk about how these levels matter so much, because they do matter so much, right? This is potentially the end of a cycle, if not the 4-year cycle, right? That's how serious this moment is. And if these levels matter as resistance, I'm going to talk about them every single bloody video, right? I'll try and keep it quick. Obviously, I won't go into a 10-minute deep dive like I've done today, but they will be topics of conversation that I have in this channel. So we'll wait for tomorrow. We'll see if there's any short-term update to bring you. At the moment, there's really not much short-term update. We've just seen a short-term rejection. We haven't seen much price development or maturity. But right now, I'm very, very interested to see how this month plays out. Thank you for watching, guys. I hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, go ahead and check out that Bitunix Exchange. It's the best way you can help out your channel, and quite frankly, it's the best way you can probably help out yourself. I mean, you pay money to exchanges on fees every single time you make a trade. You trust them to keep your money safe, and you want a good exchange for that reason. You want an exchange that is safe, historically speaking, isn't scamming you on fees, and also is accessible to your region, and that's what Bitunix offers. Global, non-KYC, low fees, everything you'd expect from a major exchange, never been hacked before. The link is down below for a 15% lifetime trading fee discount exclusively with that referral link. So check it out if you're interested. Thank you, guys. Hope you enjoyed. I'll catch you tomorrow.